Hey, I have two real quick requests for you guys. This will just be it this week. First, we don't have a microphone in here, so I know you guys are going to want to whisper and talk about things that happen at school and all those things. I want you guys to be able to do that, but since I'm kind of losing my voice right now, and I don't have a microphone, and we're in this room, and so I'll hear every whisper. So if we can just today, or just not be talkative and just be extra attentive and not distract you around us because of the fact that there's no microphone. Also, I know it'll just be this week, just not walk out of here tonight to go to the bathroom or anything like that unless you really, really have to go because it'll be really distracting in here. But you guys are awesome. I'm sorry that you guys have to sit on the ground, but it's all good. You guys can do it. We might even stand up and stretch halfway through and, maybe do a little dance or something like that. But my name is Caleb. I'm so glad to be here with you guys. It is so cool to see every single one of you in here. And like I said, I'm sorry again, there's no chairs, stuff like that. We just, parent night, it'll just be this week. My name's Caleb. I love Jesus. I love following him. I love living my life for him. I believe that's why I'm here, is for Jesus and for God, and to display him to the world. And that's who I am. And so I'm so glad to be here with you guys today. And I'm going to pray, and then we'll jump right into some really, really fun stuff. So let's pray. God, we just come before you right now. We just thank you. We thank you for the fact that we get to sit on the floor. Although that might seem funny, I've just been reminded in the last couple weeks about things that could be so much worse. About how thankful I am for the little things because there's moments where those little things I don't even get. And there's people that don't get those little things. So thank you that we get to be in air-conditioned, somewhat carpeted floor here to sit, God. We just thank you for that. I pray that this evening that our hearts and minds will just be fully open to what you have to say, that my words will be completely drowned out. It'll be your Holy Spirit speaking to us, God, about you. We have fun. We don't have to distract people around us, but it's just about you, God, that we get to learn about you, our Creator. We love you so much, God, simply because of the fact that you loved us first. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, I've got a video for you guys to check out, so check out this video, and then we'll jump into some more stuff. The Beautiful Trade. That's the series we are in right now. This is the final week on the series. This idea of the beautiful trade we heard about 2 weeks ago in the first week from Kenny. About this idea that our lives, we think they're awesome and great and the most valuable thing in the entire world. And then if we zoom out, we're so focused on our lives, but if we zoom out just for a second, we see that our life is like a paperclip. And that God is offering us all the wealth in the world. All of the wealth in the world. And we say, no, I want my paperclip. I want my paperclip. And we pretend like if we have our paperclip, everything's okay. But God's like, no, I have something way better for you. And we heard that from Kenny. And then last week, I got the awesome opportunity to speak to you guys about how we can not only exchange our life, but we can exchange the way we think. The way we think about people and how valuable they are. And how so often we see people and we think, my goodness, that person's a nerd. Oh my goodness, that person can't do what I can do. They're so silly. And we look at people and we think they're less valuable than us, right? That we're up here and some of these people that we know are here and it's like, goodness, I don't even know why I see them. I can't talk to them. I can't communicate with them because they're crazy. And we talk about how those people have value simply because they're created in the image of God. Because God is so valuable that he made us like him in his image, that those people are valuable too. And then we're jumping into this last and final week on the beautiful trade. And we're going to jump in and dive a little deeper into what it means to give up our lives, exchange our lives for what God has given us. The video said it perfectly. It's not about, it said at one point in the sentence, it's not about what do I have to give up and lose for God. It's what do I get since I give up my life. And so we've been doing that paperclip trade all these past couple weeks. And we've been doing that to represent how we're supposed to exchange our lives. And so I'm super excited to share with you guys about this deeper meaning of exchanging our lives for what Jesus has for us. And we're doing this from the book of Mark. If there's a Bible around you, go ahead and grab one. You don't have to open it up right now. We're going to look at it. But just maybe pass a couple of Bibles around real quick. So I know there's not enough for everybody, but maybe every people can share. So if you have one but nobody around you has one, then maybe pass one to the person next to you. And in this book of Mark, you guys just explain to you guys what's going on. We're not going to open it up yet, Alex. We're not going to open it up yet. We're just going to keep it close. I'm just grabbing them so we have them ready. So we're going to read from the book of Mark, though. Don't worry about it right now. But what we've been finding from the book of Mark is that Mark has this idea of this story, right? He has this understanding of a story that God already had for us. And so let me just recap the story for you, okay? This is the story. You ready? Okay? There is this God who is so incredible, so awesome that he's eternal, which means there's no beginning and no end. Okay? So first try to imagine that. So when did he start? There was no start. That's crazy to me. Okay, so there's this God who's been living in eternity, and he's awesome and amazing, and he decides to create something. So he makes these things called angels. He makes angels. And these angels are also awesome and incredible. They're not awesome like him because he made them, and he's God. They're not God, but they're really cool. They're incredible because he made them. And then these angels decide that they want to be like God. At least some of them do. And so God says, whoa, no. You're the creation. I'm the creator. So you trying to be me doesn't work. And so some of those angels did what was wrong, rebelled against God, and then they turned into demons. And so he sent them to the earth, or he sent them down as demons. And then he says, okay, I'm gonna make creation again. I'm gonna create again. He says, but this time, I'm gonna make him like me. See, the angels weren't created in my image, but I'm gonna make something in my image this time. And not something that looks like me, necessarily, but a creation that has my characteristics. The fact that I can love, and the fact that I understand what it means to be just, and the fact that I understand what it means to be gracious and kind. I'm going to make something like that in my image. And so he does. He makes, as we know, if we've read our Bibles, the truth that he makes the sun, the moon, the stars. He makes all these awesome things. Then he makes what is in his image, us, as human beings. And it's awesome. Like, this God made us to reflect him. And he made us for one purpose only. He made us with one goal in mind. He said, I'm going to make these people so that they will know me, so I can be in a relationship with them. I can be friends with them. I can be their God. I can take care of them. I can love them. And so that they can be like that to each other. They can be friends to each other, care for each other, and reflect me. But if we keep reading on, that's the first part of the story. We'll pretend like the story starts here. The first part of the story of us. If we continue on, we all know, at least most of us know, that we decide, similar to the angels, some of the angels, that we think we're missing out. I was sitting there having lunch with a couple of my buddies today, and they were talking about this idea of FOMO, I think is what they called it. And I was like, what is that? And they're like, fear of missing out. I was like, oh, that makes sense. It was just an acronym. But there's this literal fear that so many people have of missing out, right? That's why people will stay up late and go to a party because they're afraid they're going to miss out instead of doing their homework. Or that's why people will do their homework instead of going to a party because they're afraid that they're missing out on a good grade. Or people will get a Facebook because if I don't have a Facebook or a Twitter or an Instagram, then I'm missing out. Or people will date because other people are dating. Or people will get a cell phone because they're afraid that if they don't have a cell phone, they miss out like everyone else. And so there's this idea that we're afraid of missing out. And so we all have it. So as human beings, what we do is we go, God, I know that you made me to be in a relationship with you. That's why you made me. And you made me to represent you to everyone else. But I think I'm missing out. So I'm going to try things for myself. So of course we hear about Adam and Eve sinning. And then as the story continues on, humanity is sinning and sinning and sinning. And there's a problem. Why? There's a problem because we're not living the way we were made. It's like this pencil. What's the point of a pencil? Someone tell me, what is the point of a pencil? Yeah, what is the point of a pencil?
To write stuff.
To draw stuff, right? Yeah. So what if I took this pencil, which the point of it is to draw stuff, things like that, and I broke it? Right? Okay, can this write? It can, correct? But not as effectively as before because now I might get a splinter or I might. Or can this side write? No. See? Well, you have to sharpen it first, but in the way that it's living, it's chosen to break. It's not as effective. It's not working the way it was made. Or, for instance, like a car. I have a car. None of you have a car yet, I don't think. I have a car. Well, you own a car? Yeah. Okay, so I have a car. What's the point of a car? What do you guys think the point of a car is? What do you think the point of a car is? To drive, to run, right? Now, of course, it can take you places. You can put stuff in it. Like I put a bunch of pizzas in it to come bring here. But the point of a car is to drive, right? What if I pull up to the gas station, because you need gasoline to run, to drive, which is the point. And I went to fill up with gas, but I said, no. And I walked into the gas station, into the store, and I bought 3 jugs of milk, and I walked out to the car, and I started pouring the milk into the gasoline tank. Is the car going to run? No, because that's not what it was created for. It wasn't created to have milk poured into it. It was created for gasoline so that it would run. See, in the same way, we decided, I'm missing out. I'm afraid I'm missing out, so I'm going to start doing things that are better for myself. Because otherwise, I'm going to miss out. And then we're not doing what we were created for. So it's not running in the right way. Just as if you break a pencil, it's not going to draw the same way. If you pour milk into a car, it's not going to run the same way. When we choose to serve ourselves and live our way, it's not what we were created for, so it doesn't work the right way. Because we were created to know God, to be in a relationship with Him, and to show creation and people around us who He is, because we're made like Him, in His image. Let's talk about, like, some of you guys may be like, well, I mean, I don't really think I'm living the wrong way. I'm living the right way. I mean, this is what I was made for, right? Well, let's talk about how we live our lives for ourselves, right? We live our lives for us, for me. Let's do this. I'm going to make a timeline here of kind of life, and let's see if we can come up with a couple of examples how at these ages we live for ourselves. Let's do 11 and 12, since most of you guys are around that age. Let's do 14, 17, 19. Okay. Can anyone give me an example of how a 3-year-old might live for themselves? A serious example. I mean, we can be funny, but an actual answer. How a 3-year-old, what do you think? I'm sorry, say it again? Okay, crawl around. I would think babies are supposed to crawl, but that's if it was running away from its parents, that's a good guess. What else? What do you think?
They try to get attention for themselves.
Yeah, they might cry a ton because they're like, I'm not getting what I want. For me, I'll tell you guys, we'll jump to 5 a second, or 6 a second. For me, I remember that at 3 years old, I wanted that awesome toy, right? I needed that toy so bad, and if I didn't have it, everything was ruined, right? What about a 6-year-old? What does a 6-year-old want and says, I need to have it?
Everything.
Everything? Yeah, everything is really, really true. What else?
My sister wants to be in charge.
In charge. That's a great one. I remember this. We'll just do one at a time. We got one more. In charge. I remember for me, it was bedtime. My parents said, you have to go to bed at 7:30. And I, like, trying to be in charge, I said, no, I want to go to bed at 9:30. Why do I have to go to bed at 7:30? Right? What about at 9 years old? What do 9-year-olds think they should have?
Video games, a lot of video games.
Yeah, whatever video games want to play. My friends started playing Halo around 10 years old. I was not allowed to play Halo. And my parents said no, and I was like, I want to play Halo. And yeah, exactly. What else?
Authority.
Authority, you want to be in charge again. That's right. That's very, very true. One more.
Phone.
A phone. Wow, I was going to do phone for 12 or 11, but that's a great example. We'll jump to 11 or 12. Everyone else is getting a cell phone, Mom. Everyone else is getting a cell phone, Dad. I need to have a phone. And then right if you get a phone, and you get one of those flip phones, you're like, oh my goodness, everyone else has an iPhone, I need an iPhone. And you get your iPhone 4, and you're like, oh my goodness, the iPhone 4 is not good enough, I need an iPhone 5S, which hasn't even, well, have they come out yet?
Yeah.
5C. 5C, oh, I'm sorry.
Joke's about it.
I'm sorry. Right? What else? What at the age of 14? Age 14.
Makeup.
Makeup, that's a good one. Makeup, yeah. Wear makeup. Or, I remember one of the things that one of the girls in my class in 6th grade, she wanted to wear shorter shorts because all the girls around her were wearing shorter shorts. And her mom said no, and she was like, I should be allowed to. Right? What else, Faye?
The newest clothes.
Newest clothes. Yeah. One
Being
more.
able to do more stuff with your friends.
That was the one I was going to use. I remember in 6th grade, don't worry, we still got more. In 6th grade, all my buddies, my best friends, there's like 12 of them, were going over to my best friend's house to get Krispy Kreme donuts first, to hang out, watch a cool movie, you know, play some video games, play some basketball. And my mom said, you can't spend the night. I was like, oh, everyone else is spending the night, right? Like being able to do what you want with your friends. I'm going to throw in the last 2 examples here. One more, last one. Okay, 14. What is it?
Well, he always wants to be really cool. He wants to be cool and it's not including anything.
Yeah, be cool. Yeah. Yeah. Any last ones?
They want a car.
They want a car. Yeah. Yeah, okay, now I'm going to jump in the last ones here. Like for me, I remember ice cream. I was like, I didn't want to eat the dinner my mom made, that noodle casserole, whatever it was. I need to have ice cream for dinner, right? Or one that happened for me a ton at 17 and 18 years old, especially 18, I had a car. And I was like, I should be allowed to stay out as late as I want to. I'm 18 years old. I should be able to do what I want, Mom. Don't tell me when to come home at 11 o'clock. That's so early. I should be allowed to stay out whenever I want to. But if you guys notice, at 17, I didn't want a toy. At 19, I didn't want when I was 6. Exactly. See, these things constantly changed. But we still, it doesn't matter. As we get older, I still do it at 19. You guys might do it at 12, 13, 14. We still do it. We still live our lives about ourselves. Like for me, today I was at Walmart and I was shopping. I was shopping at Walmart today, and I had some stuff in the cart, and I parked it in one aisle, and then I walked down another aisle to get some other stuff. And it was just like 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And then I came back to my aisle, and somebody was taking stuff out of my cart and putting it in their cart and walking away. I was like, watching them, I was like, I walked up to my cart, and I just started laughing. Because the next aisle over was everything they wanted, but it was like, I've got to take this out of his cart, or this person's cart, for myself. Like, that's how selfish, it's all about me. That's the way we live our lives. All right. Let's see what, I'm going to tell you guys, Jesus, if you remember our purpose while we were made, was not for ourselves. But we choose for ourselves all the time. And so Jesus is at this place where he's speaking to a bunch of people. Okay? He's speaking to a bunch of people. He's sharing some really good stuff. He's teaching them truths about life, and everybody's listening. He's got a crowd of people. And on the side, he's got his disciples. Okay? And they're listening too. And going back to us living our lives about ourselves, one thing that I think we don't say, but the way we act is, hey, God, thank you for making me, and please serve me. Right? God, I know that you made me for you to serve me. We don't say that, but that's where we act with everything we do, with the selfishness that we're like, I want me, 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 me. I'll take stuff out of people's carts because it's about me. And we're saying to God, hey God, thank you for making me, thank you for serving me. I'm so glad that you're here to serve me. And Jesus is sitting on this mountainside, and he's speaking to the people. And he turns to his disciples for a second. He says, to his disciples, he says, hey, who do you think I am? Who do you think I am? And the disciples are like, well, some of the people say you're this great guy, or that great guy, or this great guy. And Jesus is like, no. Who do you think I am? And one of his disciples, Peter, stands up and says, oh, Jesus, you are the Christ. You're the living God. And Jesus says, that's right. And then let's pick it up where it is there. We're going to go to Mark. This is what's happening next, okay? We're going to go to Mark. It's on page 548 is where we're going. Okay? Mark chapter 8. If you don't have a Bible, look at someone next to you. Mark chapter 8, verse 31. Okay? All right. I'm going to read this to you guys, so listen up real quick. We only got a couple more on this list, so listen. So Mark chapter 8, page 548, verse 31 through 38. Ready for this? And he began to teach them, Jesus was teaching, that the Son of Man must suffer many things. So Jesus must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders and chief priests and scribes and be killed. So Jesus starts teaching about how he's going to be killed. And after 3 days, he's going to rise again. And he said plainly all these things. And Peter grabbed Jesus. So the guy who just said, Jesus, you're the Christ, he grabbed Jesus and says, hey, Jesus. And he began to rebuke him. He says, but turning and seeing his disciples here, and so Peter grabs Jesus and says, Jesus, that'll never happen. You're supposed to die and people are going to reject you. No, that'll never happen. And then Jesus looks back at his disciples and he rebuked Peter and said, get behind me, Satan. Whoa. The guy who just said you're the Christ, you living God. Get behind me, Satan, for you are not setting your mind on things of God, but on things of man. And then Jesus turns back to the crowd, and calling the crowd to him with his disciples, he said to them, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's will save it. For what does it profit a man to gain the entire world and forfeit his soul? For what can a man give in return for his soul? Whoever is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him will the Son of Man also be ashamed when he comes in the glory of the Father with the holy angels. So what happens is Jesus is teaching to these people, and then he turns to his disciples and says, who do you say I am? And one of his disciples steps up and says, I say you're God. I know you're a human being, but I say you're the Son of God. And Jesus says, you're right. And then he says, back to everyone, he says, so what's going to happen, or he's telling the disciples, what's going to happen is that although I'm God, these people are not going to believe me. So what they're going to do is they're going to kill me. And then I'm going to die, but 3 days later I'm going to rise again. And Peter, who just said you're the God, looks at him and goes, no, that's not going to happen. I will not let that happen. And Jesus looks at him and says, you get behind me, Satan, because you're focused on things of this world and not things of God. And then he turns back to everyone and he says, if you want to follow me, you have to lose your life. And if you lose your life, you will find it. I was processing, I was like, what in the world does it mean if I lose my life, then I will find it? If I lose my life for God, then I will find it. Well, I picture it like this. Everything in our life, whatever it may be, school, friends, sports, the way we look, every single thing, it's like each one is in the palm of our hand, right? And God is saying, here's what I want you to do. I want you to exchange your life for mine. Because you were created for me. Remember, your purpose was to show people the image of God and to be in relationship with me. But because you've broken that, because you sinned, that's broken. And so what you need now to do is give up your life, everything, and then lose your life, and then you'll find it. Because you're exchanging with me. And it's like everything is in our life is in the palm of our hand. And we go to Jesus and go, okay, God, I'll give you that school. Yeah. I'll trust in you with school, God. Here you go, take that. And then it's like, God, I know that my family's really, really annoying, but I'll give you that. And I know this is sports. I know I love sports, but I'm going to give that to you. And then you come to other things in your life. And you're like, God, actually, I'm going to hold on to this one. See, because I'm afraid that I'll miss out if I give this to you. I'm afraid that I'll miss out if I hand over the fact that I'm supposed to be in a relationship or not in a relationship with a girl or a guy. Or the fact that I have a cell phone or not. Because I'm afraid of missing out. And so I'm going to hold on to that. Everything else I'll give to you, but I'm going to hold on to that in my control. Let me control that. And Jesus is saying, look, that is a lie. That is not the truth. If you want to be able to find your purpose and find full satisfaction, and you want to find whether you're not missing out, then you need to give everything up. Why? Because that's what we're made for. We were made to give everything up to God. But we don't do that. We were made to be God's. That's why He created us. That's why He made us. And when we turn away from that, we're missing out on what we were made for. And last thing for you guys is, well, okay, if I'm made to know God and to represent Him to the people around me, you don't understand though, Caleb, because tomorrow when I'm in school and I have this test that I didn't study for, and I have to get an A on it, because if I get an A on it, then my teacher will be happy with me, my friends will be impressed by me, my parents might buy me something. But if I get a D on it, then everybody will not like me and it'll be just horrible. It's because I didn't study. So you don't understand, Caleb, I have to cheat by looking at the person next to me answers because I have to get an A. See, that's not the truth. The truth is you are not created. You are not created to sin. And when we do that, we're breaking what God has. And so in order for us to find our life, we have to give everything to God. We have to take what's in our life as if it's all in the fist of our hand, and we need to open the palm of our hand and give it all to God. Exchange our life for what Jesus has for us. And why? Because that's what we're created for. How? Our thoughts begin to change. We begin to look at situations and go, oh my goodness, I want to cheat on this math test, but I know that that's not what's best for me, because then I'll feel guilty, and then I might get caught, and the penalty of that is even worse. See, we look at what we want in the moment because we're all about ourselves. But Jesus is saying, no, give up your life. Lose your life, and you find what you're made to do, is to live for me. And that is better than anything else. It's better than anything else. Let's pray.